Hey, it's me, GV, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a Dark Souls Remastered boss guide. The Lies of P guides did so well on my channel that I figured, hey, let's go ahead and guide Dark Souls, just because even if nobody watches it, it'll help at least one person, and at the same time, it's just going to be fun to go through and make guides for everything. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to make a guide for every boss in the game, pretty much, and we've got our first boss here, the Asylum Demon. Now, what you're supposed to do is, if you want to beat this guy first encounter, you can watch my first encounter video. However, what the game kind of like wants you to do is go and run through the side passage and then do the loop and do all the stuff and then get here to the big fog door. And then that's what the game wants you to do. Also, I am going to slot a gesture to wave to you at each one of these guides. Yeah, there we go. So, this guy is very easy. This is your typical Souls-like boss. If you're having trouble with this guy, you're probably just new to Dark Souls, or you're just having trouble getting used to the game. Now, I'm going to tell you about my preferred play style, and you are free to do whatever the heck you want. We started with the Deprived class, which basically starts with nothing, just because it's like a tradition for me. I love having a two-handed weapon and rolling everything in Souls games. That's my preferred play style. Now, if you don't like that, you can also equip a shield here in the shield slot. If you're the Deprived, you start with a plank shield, but if you're like the warrior class or whatever else, you get like an actual shield. So the big tip that I want to say right here from the get-go is there are multiple ways to play. I would say the easier way to play is to have a shield and always be holding the shield out to block attacks. Now, if we take a look at the plank shield's physical damage reduction, it's 75 in the middle there, right? Damage reduction percent 75, which means it blocks 75% of a physical attack. So I don't like shields. When I first played, I did use shields, but like you just have to keep that in mind. If you block, you're still going to take damage. It's not like Lies of P, where if you perfect parry and perfect block, you won't take damage. I mean, you can parry in this game, but I don't parry either in this game because it feels very, just not a fan of it. Dark Souls 1 at least. But anyways, yeah, so just keep that in mind, is that my preferred play style, I almost said slay style, that's kind of cool, slay style, is to, wait for the attack to come in. So if you watch my Lies of P guides, I waited for an attack to come in and then I hit L1 to like perfect parry, right? But in this game, I wait for an attack to come in and I hit B to roll, because you get iframes. The roll in Lies of P is terrible. The rolls in Dark Souls are actually pretty good. So, yeah, I guess that's my first thing that I'm going to say is, like, the majority of these guides are probably going to be rolling, but if your preferred style is to use a shield, just use a shield. And instead of, like, when I roll, just hold LB. I mean, you can shield with a weapon, too, as you can see here. So, like, instead of rolling like when I do, just hold LB to shield it, right? So it comes down to which style you want to play, obviously. Now, the first major tip I'm going to tell you before we jump into the fog door, the game wants you to plunging attack. So a lot of people have had trouble with this, and they don't really understand. Basically, when you are falling, hit R1, and I believe R2 works as well, but I always do R1, so I just know that works. When you are falling, hit R1. You'll enter a plunging attack stance as you are falling, and you will plunge attack the beast. Okay, and you'll deal massive damage. So we're going to do that right off the bat, and then I'm going to show you how to beat this guy. Let's do it. Going to walk through the fog door. He's down there. We're going to go whoop and hit R1 now. Huge damage, because the game wants you to R1. The game wants you to be introduced to plunging attacks or whatever. You can click in the right stick to lock on. A lot of people don't know that, and they get absolutely destroyed. So clicking in the right stick locks on. I actually don't lock on a lot, at least in Dark Souls, because it kind of makes your movement roll. It makes your movement very stilted in Dark Souls 1 at least. So yeah, I don't really lock on, so you won't see me lock on a bunch. I like to be free. But yeah, basically you're just going to swing his thing at you. So roll, and you just want to roll, or you want to block. Like I said, if blocking is a perfect roll. It just comes down to timing. All Souls is timing, man. Like, a lot of people don't understand that. They think the game's too hard, which, don't get me wrong, it's hard. Roll. But it's all timing, man. It's just getting good at practicing the timing. A lot of people left comments on my Lies of P guides, and they were like, oh, so the guide is just to get good. It's like, no, the guide's not just to get good. It's just like to show the timing for each of the attacks. You know what I mean? But I digress. Roll. Yeah, okay. By the way, guiding and commentating is like a million times harder than actually Oh, he just flat out missed there. I'm going to give him a boop. Boop. A million times harder than actually just playing. Anyways, let's talk about this guy's attacks. He's only got like 3 or 4 attacks, basically. He will, swing his thing. You just got to get used to the timing, man. This is a great boss to practice the timing to roll or to block. So we're going to roll there and roll. So you will get good. I promise you this. At watching the enemy's hands. This is free, by the way, when he flies up. You can basically just circumvent him, get behind him, and attack him. Roll. Yeah, you can basically just watch their hands and really get used to, like, getting that timing down. So I'm going to watch his hands right now. Roll. And just, like, as soon as I see that swing coming in, I am going to roll, basically. Also, important to note are iframes. You have iframes when you roll. You have iframes when you're knocked down like I just was there. So I intentionally did not panic spam. I intentionally did not panic spam because I knew I was safe, basically, after he hit me, right? He hit me and I was on the ground. I knew I was safe. So I just, like, waited till I got back up. And then you also have iframes when you roll like this. Although sometimes there's aftershock damage in Dark Souls 1, which is really stupid. Anyways, so for this first guy here, for the Asylum Demon, for this big butt boy, let's heal up real quick. He's going to bash me. He was going to miss again. Wow. You're off your game today, bro. He's going to do like a forward slam. We're just basically for this guy, you just want to stay behind him pretty much. Just stay behind him. Take a big whiff of that big butt. And yeah, you could just kind of just stay behind him. I mean, you still want to roll because he will still hit you sometimes with certain sweeping attacks. When he does this, just stay behind him, kind of circle him. I'm going to hit him once. Hopefully it doesn't kill him. Okay, so he's 1 hit away from death here. Yeah, he'll slam down. I mean, as long as you stay behind him, as you can see, you're not in too much damage here. And then, like, if you stay in front of him, he'll obviously do a lot of wide sweeping attacks, which is why you don't want to stay in front of him, because they're far harder to dodge. But yeah, you could punish him. I mean, they don't give him a lot of HP because it's your first boss. So ultimately, this is just a good guy to practice your rolls, practice your guarding. When he floats up like this, very easy to punish. You can just run forward and go, boop. That's the Asylum Demon dead, ladies and gentlemen. Super duper easy boss. Especially if you do the plunging attack up there, which they kind of want you to do. Now notice, you'll still hear something. Which reminds me, we will be covering all bosses in this game. So if you want to see all bosses and how to beat them, without cheesing, by the way. A lot of people, they talk about in the comments like, oh, I just use this and this and this to cheese and all this sort of stuff. That's fine. I don't care. You play the way that you want to play. However, I am going to be, with my guides, showing how to beat bosses in sort of the intended way. You know what I mean? Like not using throwables or consumables, or unless you have to, like, unless that's the strategy. But like I'm saying, yeah, like I'm going to basically be doing a lot of rolling and bashing. That's just my play style, slay style. Yeah, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed or if you found it helpful, consider supporting the video. All the links are in the description below, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. No, that's the wrong gesture. No, not that one. This one. Wave. Bye-bye.